Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
Hello, ma'am.
how are you guys doing?
তারপরে ভালো নে? So Pranjal, these
Hmm.
are 7, 8, 9th graders. কোন ক্লাসের স্টুডেন্ট হয়?
ম্যাডাম ক্লাস 7 নিউ
ক্লাস
7
7 হয়? Okay. Taj, you can go ahead. Introduction দিয়ে ফেলো.
হয়
You can.
নিউ 7
Okay. Got it.
নিউ 7 ম্যাম
Okay, sounds good. So, my name is Taj Bora, and I'm class 10, and I live in America, Minnesota, and I will be teaching you guys about computers and computer science over the next couple weeks and months. So, let's get started. Oh, it says only the host can share. Do you think you could quickly update that?
Taj, you want me to give you permission to share, right?
Yep.
Okay, 1 second. Um, can you ask for permission? I will ask and I will give you. Okay, I'm getting it. Yeah, multiple participants. Yeah.
All right. So the reason we're doing this class is because knowing how to use computers and what computers are very important when you're looking for jobs and when you're looking for work because lots of jobs have computers. So the first unit that we'll be covering is what is a computer and just understanding them in general. So today we're going to do lesson 1 where we learn how computers are used in our daily lives. But then we're going to go into deeper things like we'll learn how to use computers and then we'll learn about storing and filing information in computers. And then the final thing in unit 1 is we'll learn how to type and how to get faster at typing. And then the next unit that we'll be covering is internet and online skills. So you can communicate with people on the internet and you can learn safety on the internet. Then we'll also teach you how to create strong passwords, which is a very important skill that you should have. And then in the next lesson, we'll learn about how to communicate with people online through email and stuff like that. And then we'll teach you how to be responsible with technology and to not abuse it. And then the third unit is where we actually get into coding. And this is probably going to be my favorite unit because we'll teach you Python and we'll give you coding assignments where you'll learn how to use algorithms and procedures to actually make things happen. And then we'll learn a lot of things during this unit, like variables and input and output. And I'll be assigning you homework that you'll be able to do that will be fun. And then after Unit 3, we'll move on to Unit 4, which is building programs and working with data. So this is like debugging and fixing errors, which if you don't know what that means, it's like finding what went wrong in the code and fixing it. And then we'll work on planning a program, data and graphs. And then this is all tentative, which means it can change based on the time or what the class wants to do and what we can prefer. So then finally, the last unit is technology in the real world, where we'll learn how you can get a career in technology and what jobs are specified towards computers. And then we'll work on some final projects and presentations that can later change. So this was the syllabus. Are there any questions just straight off the bat? Or should I review anything or ask any questions?
You can ask them some questions, Taj, if you're good to start. Previous computer knowledge, ask any key. But communication may be difficult because of the connection. I think Pankaj Ahisa, and the school principal is here. Just say hello to Pankaj Da.
Hello, Pankaj.
Yeah.
All right. I will begin lesson 1 now, if that's good.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Vidya-the Living School, and this is my computer science class that I'll be teaching. So, we already went over the syllabus, the 5 units. So, feel free if anyone has any questions, we can come back to that later. So, today's first lesson is what is a computer in Unit 1, Understanding Computers. So, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe what a computer is, name the main types, and explain the difference between hardware and software. But before every lesson, we always do a trivia warm-up question. So, just anybody in the class, how many computers do you think exists in the world today? Just any guess is okay.
Does I mean 1 million or up?
What did you say? 1 million?
Yes.
1
Yes,
million.
sir.
Okay. Does anybody else have any guesses?
Yes. Open. Today, world কিমান computer আছে বুলি ভাবা আহিলো Guess কৰি ক'ব পাৰা One? Aha, whole word. You can say anything. Loudly. Sir.
Mm-hmm.
Touch.
Yes?
500 million up.
500 million? All right. Do we want to see the answer?
Anyone else? Opa, Shanika?
All right. There are over 2 billion personal computers and billions more when you count smartphones, tablets, and other devices. So that means in the entire world,
2 billion.
almost everybody has a computer. So it is very important that you know how to use it. And so now let's dive
They're
deeper.
writing the answer. They're writing it, okay, Taj? Give them some
Okay.
time. Mhm.
That was just the trivia question, so it's not too important. So if we want to know the important things about a computer, we can write this down, is that a computer is an electronic device that processes information. So when it processes information, this means that it takes data in some type of form and does something to it and gives it back in some type of other form. So that is essentially input and then output. And we will learn about that later through the course. And then another thing that computers do is they follow instructions written by people called programs or software. So we ourselves will be writing instructions that computers will be following. So it'll be really interesting when we get later into the course. And then computers work incredibly fast. They have billions of calculations and algorithms running per second. So in the time it takes you to blink, they are already running billions of calculations. And then finally, computers can be seen everywhere. They're in our homes, in schools, in hospitals, in cars, and on phones. So these are just the basics of what is a computer. And then let me know if you have any questions or if we should move on to the next slide.
Any questions regarding computers? You can ask. Chayan, you want to give back? Feel free to ask anything. खुदा कंप्यूटर एग्जिस्ट कैसे है कंप्यूटर डेफिनेशन कैसे है खुदा के बाद क्वेश्चन रखिए ओके ask
Taj,
Yep.
who made the computer first?
Who made the first computer? That's a good question. So, one person who's credited with making the first computer is Steve Jobs. He's the founder of Apple. Do you guys know who that is? But then he made the first computer for Apple, but someone like Charles Babbage is considered the first person to design
father
a computer. And then Steve Jobs just made it distributed worldwide.
Charles Babbage. Okay.
Yeah.
Charles
Charles
Babbage
Yeah.
this computer है
Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. So, types of computers. So, for the first trivia question, you might have thought that a computer was only like with a keyboard and a screen, but there's a lot other things. Like a desktop computer, it's on a desk, and then a laptop is the things that we can carry with us that folds. Then a tablet is touchscreen, and it's like the size of an iPad. And then smartphones, that's what most of us have. This is also a type of computer, even if you may think it's a phone. It's also a type of computer. And then servers are a type of computers, and essentially they run websites that computers and smartphones access. And finally, supercomputers are another type of computer, and they're used for predicting the weather and for doing science. So you may think that computers can only come in one shape or size, but essentially anything that can run a program is a computer.
Ask them if they understood this concept.
Does this concept make sense?
It does. Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
yes
Okay. Hold for a second. Let's make them little notes. Okay, hold for a second. Let them make notes. Okay.
Okay, they're writing notes. Sounds good.
Some people have line by line. Just that's a competition.
computer laptop tablet smartphone servers and supercomputer take a video supercomputer to use for weather forecasting
Supercomputer.
बाकी का जाना है ना laptop
Okay.
smartphones
Let's okay, continue. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
ahead.
we'll continue.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So the next slide will be, where do we see computers? So at home, we can see computers through our TVs, or if anybody has gaming consoles or home assistants like Alexa or Google. And then at school, through projectors or our computers and iPads that we use, or even apps. And then in hospitals, to keep records of all the patients, and all of the machines are also computers. And then in cars, the GPS system, as well as the safety system and the engine controls, these are all forms of computers. Then in stores, we have cash registers and inventory systems. These are all types of computers. And then finally, in planes, through air traffic control. And then the thing that flies the plane itself is the autopilot, and that is completely controlled through computers. So there are many other places where we see computers, but we see them in so many places that we don't even think that that's a computer. But they are very important in our lives because they impact us in many ways.
Computer explore What data computer की smart TV जैसे कि gaming हो है system जैसे कि access area को stores मुझे resource okay guys you can continue.
All right. So now we'll learn about hardware versus software. So if you don't know what this means, that's okay. Hardware means that it is the physical parts of a computer. So just think hardware means you can touch it. So some things of hardware is like the keyboard, a screen, mouse, chips, or the motherboard, or anything that you can actually physically touch. So that is considered hardware. And then software is the programs and instructions that make it. So games, web browsers, and systems are what the software is. And we will be developing softwares too. And anybody can develop software. And then, so just for you, so you can remember it, hardware is without software and it is a paperweight. And then software without hardware has nowhere to run, which means that they both need each other to make a computer work. Because a computer without any code is just a piece of metal, and then a code without a computer is just, it doesn't have anywhere to process. So the most important thing to remember about hardware versus software is that they're both essential for a computer, and that you can touch hardware and that you can use software, and you can only see it. So if you want to write something down, write what's inside the yellow box.
You can see only hardware to don't need your yellow box to do something hardware you can touch it. Okay, software you can see and use it. Okay. Skip from it does you can continue.
Okay. So now we'll look at the main parts of computer. So we separated computers into hardware and software, but now we'll dive a little bit deeper into the hardware. So these are things that we can touch. So the most important thing in a computer is called the CPU, or the central processing unit. So this is where all of the program is run, and this is where it does all of the thinking for the computer. And then the RAM is the random access memory, and this is just short-term memory. So if you have like a big box next to your computer, which some of them have, but all laptops have this too, and phones, it's just a RAM where it keeps current data that you're working on. And then a hard drive is a physical thing that is 1 inch by 2 inches long. And if you see people who work in the office, or if you know if your parents work in office jobs, they most likely have this. And then the motherboard is the spine, and this connects everything together. So it connects the CPU, the RAM, and any input and output that is physical towards your computer. And then the monitor is the screen where you look at. So the computer is not including with the screen. Like you could just have the motherboard and the components with the motherboard, and the monitor is just so you can see the computer actually being used. And then finally, there's the keyboard and mouse, which is an input because you are inputting what you are typing or clicking, and then the output is shown onto the screen. And that is the final part or the main parts of a computer. And these are all hardware because we can touch these things.
Left hardware parts. So this are left take through. Touch your button.
No. Mata sama. Boleh gini, kami tahu bagi jelas gitu. Ini sama, dia orang di Malaysia.
All right. Let me know when I can move on.
Hold
Hold for a second. Okay. Okay, cuma lagi. Nah,
on, please.
main point. Then you CPU ready. Okay, Android.
Person it? Nah. Parts kita likha जल्दी CPU, RAM, hard drive,
Just
motherboard, monitor and keyboard.
only parts. Okay. Functions की मिली किलो.
Well, 2 minutes, no. It's too much. Well, Taz, you can continue.
Okay, sounds good. So the vocabulary for this unit is hardware, software, CPU, RAM, storage, input, output processing. So this means that you should be able to explain all of these terms if we asked you. So check your notebook and see if you have the definition written down anywhere. And if you don't have it written down, you can ask me and I can tell you what the definition is. So just take 1 minute to...
Jodi nahi likha, you can ask. That one want to say definition? So you can ask.
Taj,
Yep.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
What
hear
is
you.
the definition? What is the definition of RAM?
RAM.
RAM.
Sorry. RAM.
The definition of RAM is a computer's short-term memory.
Short-term memory. And its means random access memory. Random access memory. Hey,
That's a good question. Any other questions?
You can see the full form is a random access memory, right?
Yeah. But it's just important they know what it does.
Input output device.
Input, output. So anything that the user, so yourself, can do to a computer is the input, and whatever the computer produces is the output. So think of it like, does that make sense?
Thank you, Taj.
Give an example, please.
So do you
Input
guys
example.
know vending machines? Have you used vending machines?
Taj,
Yeah.
give some examples of input device.
So think of it like you're going to a vending machine, right?
Vending machine মানে বুজি পাইছা ন তুমি যে বাহিৰত যে তোমাৰ ড্ৰিংকস ফান্টা থামস আপ কোক এনেকে থাকে পইচাটো দিলে যে ওলাই গুচি আহে বটলটো গম পাইছা এয়াৰপোৰ্ট এয়াৰপৰ্ট বা কৰবাত এনেকে ভেণ্ডিং মেচিন বুজাই দিব পাৰিবানে প্ৰাঞ্জল আৰু
Or there's a simpler thing. So like if you press a button on your phone or on your iPad, then that means the iPad will do something. It'll like turn up the volume, it'll go to the home screen, right? So the input is you're pressing the button, and then the output is whatever it does. So it could turn up the volume, or it could turn off the iPad, or it could go to the home screen. So the input is just whatever you are doing to the computer, and the output is what the computer is doing because of that. So inputs and outputs are very simple. It can be anything very simple, or it can be something very complex.
Let's give the example of the volume increase and or a TV start stop. One more time.
Are they writing it down?
No, it seems like she's not understanding. She seems so buzai dia. Ako ebar buzai dia.
So if you press a button on your iPad to turn up the volume, you are doing an input because you are changing something on the iPad. You're pressing the button, and then because you press the button, the computer will process it, and then for the output, they will turn up the volume.
Buji
And
pala?
that is does that make sense?
Pranjal আৰু Chainika নেকি তুমি ডাঙৰ টিচাৰ গৰাকী নে বাবলি Chainika নে বাবলি বাৰু মিউট হৈ আছে দেই মিউট হৈ আছে তোমালোকৰ
Can you hear me, ma'am?
শুনিছো ইয়া তুমি বাবলি নেকি
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
বাবলি বুজি পালে যিগৰাকী ছোৱালীয়ে সুধিছিলে তাই বুজি পালে নে কোৱেশ্চনটো ইনপুট আৰু আউটপুট মানে কি
Oh, ma'am, pale তাই
পাইছে থ্যাংক ইউ
Welcome.
All right. Shall we move on?
Yes, Taj, you can continue.
Okay. So I've been saying that computers are very important, but let's see why computers matter. So computers save time. Like in 100 years ago, something that could have taken days or weeks takes seconds with computers. One example is a calculator. A calculator is a computer, and they are very important. And then they also connect people through email, through social media, through WhatsApp. So without computers, we would never be able to do that. And they store a lot of important information safely where we don't need to worry about it being leaked as long as we are smart. And then they powered lots of businesses, science, art, and education, and they revolutionized many of these subjects. And then learning to use computers opens the doors to many careers. Because we are living in a computer age, understanding them is required to be able to get a job in to get a high paying job. So it's very important that we learn computers and we learn how to code. All right, shall we move on?
Please wait for a second.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So for a check, find a partner and discuss some of these questions. So, and then be prepared to share with the class. So the questions are: name 2 types of computers that you have seen before. What is the difference between hardware and software? What does the CPU do? And then give one example of how computers help people in real life.
You cannot touch. Okay.
So talk with the partner about these questions, and then we'll regroup in a minute.
Taj group करके बनाए हुए group बना and then discuss for सब ताज़ा question करेगा answer करेगी. Okay. तीनटा group बनीला. चलो नजर discuss कर.
That you will form 3 groups and they're asking you to ask them, okay? Group 1.
Okay.
Okay. तीनटा group हो डांगर से.
চাৰিটা হ'ব পাৰে, 4টা question আছে, 4টা group হ'ব পাৰে.
Okay, ma'am. Group A. Ekala group A. Ekala class. Third order below. Right. Group B. Ekala. Ekala B. Ekala C. Then do B. Okay. Side question. Follow. Answer. Okay. Group C. Cyan group B. Ilura group A. Group B.
And you can turn on one computer if you want to video. Because you'll ask them. Taj, can you turn on a video because you'll ask them the question just for this question and then turn it off again?
Yep.
You can ask the first question now.
All right. Can the first group name 2 types of computers that they have seen before?
Group A. Can you repeat the question, Dad?
Name 2 types of computers that you have seen before.
Okay. Duta computer type का group A की तुम्हारे देखी सा. Okay. Smartphone. They said laptop and smartphone.
Yep, that's correct. Correct, group A. All right. Can group B name the difference between hardware and software?
Okay. Science. Say.
That's
He can hear you. Say.
hardware was which were we can touch, and software was we cannot touch.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, hardware we can touch. And then what was software?
Say it again. Software to কি কৈছিলা?
Software we cannot touch.
Good job. That's correct. All right. Could another group say, what does the CPU do?
What does CPU do?
Taj, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
CPU is a brain of computers.
Is a what of computers?
Can you repeat again?
What does the CPU do?
CPU measure works and everything CPU do in computer because CPU is the brain of the computer.
Yep, that's correct. So it processes information. It is the brain of the computer. Good job.
Yeah, it processes
All right.
information.
And then could anyone say how computers help people in real life?
Okay, Laura say.
Computer help us to connect people and they save our time.
Correct. All right. Now,
Very good.
I think there's a couple more slides left, so let's quickly finish this.
Okay? Group D, huh? Ready? Good.
All right. And then for the exit ticket, anybody can answer this, and then the lesson will be done today. So, how have computers changed the classroom or have changed schools?
Classroom पे कमरे का tempo change करेंगे.
Taj,
Touch, can
Yep.
you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
computer changed the classroom by immature ways. When some schools use computer for learning small classes like LKG, UKG by pictures, videos, etc.
That's correct. And
Very good.
another way is that these Zoom calls that we're doing wouldn't be possible without computers. So that's another thing.
Then say.
So that is lesson 1 completed, and I will see you guys next week.
Raj, you can still don't say bye,
you.
just we can talk, okay? Just warm up a little bit, like.
Say thank you to Taz.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you like it, Huda Santaj? Did you like it, Huda?
How was the first lesson? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun and it was amazing.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, তোমালোকে interact কৰিলে বহুত
course.
Thank you,
interesting
ma'am.
যায়. Yeah, thank you. Pranjal sake goal, নহয় মই নামটো yeah, because you students are interacting, teachers are interacting, it becomes very interesting, right? তোমালোকে কথা সুধিছা কাৰণে তাজৰো পঢ়াই ভাল লাগিব, তোমালোকৰো শিকি ভাল লাগিব, নহয়? So, আৰু
Sonika ma'am আহিছে.
গীতি মই আছো জয়েন হৈ আছো চয়নিকাই কৈছে
আহিছা ন? মই বাবলিক মাজতে
সেশনটো মই
চাইনিকা
আছোৱে
তুমি আছিলা ন? Yeah.
খুব ভাল লাগিলে সেশনটো দাজু বাইদেউ
Yeah,
খুব ভাল
তাকে
লাগিলে মেম
খুব-
সেশনটোত মই আছিলো ফাৰ্ষ্টৰ পৰা.
Sure. তাকে এইখিনি বেচিক্স শিকাইছে কাৰণ ল'ৰা ছোৱালী বেচিক্স ফাউণ্ডেশ্যনটো ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট ন? ডিৰেক্টলি তাজে ভাবিছে ষ্টুডেণ্টছ খিনিক কম্পিউটাৰ শিকিব হলে সিহঁতক সেই বেচিক্স ফাউণ্ডেশ্যনটোৰ পৰা শিকাই
And they really enjoyed the session, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. কোনে আনসাৰ কৰা বুলি ক'লা?
Actually, all of them really enjoyed the session, ma'am.
ভাল
চবে
হৈছে এতিয়া
চবে
discussion
আনসাৰ কৰিবলৈ ট্ৰাই কৰিছে. গ্ৰুপ বনাই দিছিলে
না,
ABCD, ma'am.
Yeah, খুব ভাল কৰিছা. Taj, this way the group
আমাৰ
is good, right?
চায়ানে আনসাৰ কৰিছে.
আৰু তোমাৰ নামটো কি? এই যে
ইলোৰা
ওচৰত
চবে
বহি আছা?
answer কৰিছে.
মই নামকেইটা পিছত সিহঁতক সুধি ললে তোমালোকে নামকেইটা দি দিয়ে, তাজে নামকেইটা নানিলেও ভাল লাগিব। তোমাৰ মই বাবলিক মই গম পালো, বাবলি আৰু চাইনিকা আৰু ফাৰ্ষ্ট ষ্টুডেন্ট গৰাকীৰ নামটো কি তোমাৰ এই যোনে সিপিউৰ কথা কৈছিলা তোমাৰ নামটো কি
Pranam, my name is Trishna Borua.
তৃষ্ণা
Trishna Borua.
ওকে
ইলোৰা?
তৃষ্ণা বৰুৱা ন ওকে
Yes,
আৰু
ma'am.
কোৱাচোন তোমালোকৰ নাম কেইটা কৈ দিয়া
Pranam, ma'am. My name is Indra Borua.
Science है?
Pranam, ma'am. My name is San Borle.
সায়ন
আৰু answer কোনে কৰিছিলা?
as these kids answered they're fun right
Mm.
বাবলি আৰু চাইনিকা ষ্টুডেন্টৰ নামকেইটা এবাৰ দি দিবাচোন হোৱাটছআপত এনে জানি পেলাই ভাল লাগে আৰু তোমালোকে খুব ধুনীয়াকৈ
Okay,
ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, ma'am. মই দি দিম।
মাজৰো পঢ়াই
মই দি দিম।
ভাল লাগিছে Taj, you enjoyed teaching right yeah okay ঠিক আছে আজিলৈ আকৌ next Sunday লগ পাম ঠিক আছে
Thank you.
next
Alright.
Sunday yeah
Bye.
take care
হ'ব,
bye
হ'ব,
good night
Thank you, Taj. Thank you.
Yep, of course.
Really
বাবলি
eagerly
মই
waiting for the next
ফোন এটা
session,
কৰিম
sir.
বাবলি মই তোমাক ফোন এটা কৰিম হা এতিয়া
Okay, ma'am.
bye take
ঠিক আছে
care
আমি পাতিম।
Bye, bye,
Bye, good
bye,
night.
bye.
bye